going slightly mad. I'm going slightly mad.
Hello. Hello. Aloysius and I are here on our 1 year anniversary. Yes, it's our anniversary. Yes, it's our 1 year anniversary. And we are here we found something. We found something. While we were in the process of moving, we found something that we thought we just have to share with you. Absolutely we have to share with you. We have to share with you. You going to tell them, Aloysius? No? Okay, I'll tell them. Well, when we were moving, we found this book. Now, this book has a recipe in it. It has a recipe for how to be a published writer. Yes, I know. This is information that has previously only been available to published writers. And so, you know what we're going to do? We're going to share it with everybody. Yeah, we're going to share it with you. And then everybody will know how you be a published writer. It's got a really complicated recipe in it. And it's got a bit of a complicated method. But it will make you a published writer, okay? So, I need 2 hands for this, Aloysius. So you're going to sit in my pocket? Good. Okay. Aloysius is going to sit in the pocket. There he is. So, to be a published writer, you need a dozen notebooks that are far too nice to write in. The next thing you need is a set of pens that you like but are very, very hard to find, and you have to import them in bulk from Japan. Our next thing we need is a fountain pen, because all good writers have a fountain pen. You may not actually use it, but you have to have it. The next thing you need is assorted scented candles for the mood. Ooh. The next thing you need is copious amounts of tea or coffee. We like tea. Both can be used. Both are good. Next is a notebook that isn't so nice that you actually can write in with your pens that you had to import from Japan. The next thing you need is classic literature that is well and truly out of copyright that you are going to shamelessly pillage. We are shamelessly pillaging the Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer. The next thing you need is Band-Aids for your feels when they get hurt, when you go through multiple rounds of rejection and beta readers and you hear all the things that are bad about your book. The next thing you need is a sympathetic writerly friend, so that you can call them when your book has gone completely derailed. Or so that you can call them when their book has gone completely derailed to tell them you just got an agent. The next thing you need, there's a lot of things that you need in this, aren't there, Aloysius? Yes. Is lemons to make lemonade when you have to rewrite your entire draft because there's a massive plot hole that is going to ruin it. And our final ingredient is whatever national flavouring you would like to add. Now, we are writing an Australian book, so I'm going to include some eucalyptus leaves. So, that is the ingredients for our book, Yes, our book. The next part of our book, we have to go over to the oven. But before we do that, you have to take all these things. Oh, I almost forgot the last one. Very important. Finally, I did almost forget this. Finally, you need a talisman, a magic talisman to make everything work out. I have chosen a crystal scrying stone myself. Now, what we then do is, and I'm not going to film this because it's very, very noisy. We take all of these things. We take all of these things and we put them through a very high-powered blender. And once we have put it all through a very high-powered blender, then we put it onto the stove. And I'll show you how we go after we put it onto the stove. So I'll see you in my kitchen. Now, we blended all our ingredients for 3 months so that they would process appropriately. And now that they are in a giant mush pile and small enough to go into our cooking pot, we then marinate them in a bottle of wine. I prefer an Italian Moscato myself. And we cook for the next, 6 to 9 months. Now, we cook this until, get back in there. If you're not in the pot, you won't end up in the book. Now, we continue to cook this until we get a smooth consistency. So, we'll be back with that very shortly. Now, we have cooked our work down in a very large pot. In fact, we've cooked it down so far in the past 6 to 9 months that we had to transfer it to a smaller pot because it's super, super concentrated. Now, we will turn the power off and have a look. Now, here we go. Got our oven mitt. And we're going to have a look. And yes, you are right. Our novel now resembles tomato soup. But now is the point where you salt it with optimism because you want to take out any bitterness and resentment that may have got in the cooking process. A nice salting of optimism will solve that problem. So, what we then do is we take our salted pot, salted with optimism, and we take a tray. This is a disposable tray because really it's going into the oven for a very, very long time. And we take our work and we pour it. We pour it into our tray and we put it into the oven for 12 to 18 months on low so that it can bake and solidify. We don't really have the 12 to 18 months that we need to bake it, so I prepared one earlier. So let's have a look. I've turned the oven off and got it nice and cool so we can have a look and see what the finished product looks like. Here is our freshly baked novel, ready for selling. Okay, so Aloysius, I know you spent a lot of the time in my pocket, but anyway, you got to see what we were doing. But Aloysius, here is our book, fresh from the oven. Yes, isn't it nice? And it only took 2 years. So here is our book, fresh from the oven. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Who would have thought it was that simple to get a book? I mean, you had no idea, did you? You didn't know it was like that. You thought you had to sit down and process all of your work and learn a whole load of stuff and sit there and type every single word. You had no idea it was a simple recipe like that, did you? Yes, you're right. I am having an April Fool's with you. Yes, you did fall for it though. You did fall for it. You did. Aloysius says he didn't fall for it, but I think he did. And as we all know, it takes a lot more than a very silly recipe to get a book written. And I hope that you will join me for the next year coming, where we will continue to bring you writing advice. So, until we meet again, bye-bye. Der Wolkefinger, ich bin ja, ich huspel, Bye bye.